Hey, I'm Ostrax here, and welcome to the last episode of Getting Good at Overwatch. This time we'll talk about teamwork and communication. The topics of today are what a good team combo needs, engaging and committing, old combos, some examples, cluttering comms, effective communication, how to ask for swaps, positive atmosphere, and the can we attitude. In my opinion, a good team comp needs pick potential to make a 6v5, an anti-flanker to protect the supports, a defensive ultimate to counter combos, engage to commit to a fight, a CC ultimate to combo with others, some tank damage to destroy things like Reinhardt shields or diving monkeys, and an offensive ultimate to kill stuff. There are two primary defensive ultimates in the game, the Lucio Sound Barrier and Zenyatta's Transcendence. The advantages of the Sound Barrier is that Lucio is still useful during the cast since he can shoot and stuff. It combos really well with his speed boost, and he can save people from getting one-shot, such as a Rotor Cook. However, he is vulnerable to the MP, which completely nullifies the shields. It decays quickly, and it has a cast time, so it's not cast immediately. Zenyatta's Transcendence, on the other hand, is invulnerable during his cast, very mobile. It can't be bursted through, and it has no cast time. However, people in the Transcendence are still vulnerable to one-shots, so for instance McCree ultimate. Also, Zenyatta can't cast anything during it, so no Orbs of Discord or Harmony, and people can get hooked out of it. There are three primary CC ultimates in the game. Zarya's Graviton Surge to pull people together and deal a bit of damage, Reinhardt's Earth Shatter, which completely stuns targets and knocks them on the ground, and Mei's Blizzard, which slows people, and if they stay in it long enough, CCs them. In the anti-flanker category, we have 7 spots. One is for McCree with his Flashbang, Soldier with his Biotic Field, which allows him to duel characters like Tracer or Genji very well. Winston's entire kit is really good because he can just jump on the flankers, and his Tesla Cannon is really good against mobile targets. We have Symmetra's lasers and her primary weapon, again for the same reasons as Winston, since she can cover flanks. Torbjorn turret, because it doesn't need to aim and it can cover flanks well. Junkrat's trap, because if the flanker runs into his trap, he's an easy kill. And Mei's Cryoplaster, which is for instance really good against Genji, because it nullifies his mobility and speed. There are 3 primary engage ultimates. We have Sombra's EMP, because during the duration, winning a teamfight is easy since the enemies can't use ultimates or anything of the sort. We have Lucio's Speed Boost, because you can overrun the enemy and you are incredibly hard to hit during it. And Anna's Nano Boost, because it synergizes very well with other ultimates and deals a surprising amount of damage, so you basically have a hard carry for the fight. The pick potential is also covered by 7 people. McCree's Flashbang is really good for getting picks, same thing with the Rotor Cook, especially with the support of his teammates. Widowmaker's Sniper can one-shot people, same thing with Hanzo's Scatter Arrow, which deals I think a maximum of 400 damage. Someone who's sleep darted by Anna is an easy kill most of the time. Someone who steps into Junkrat's trap, the same, although this isn't really good on attack. And someone discorded by Zenyatta can get one-shot by some characters. There are 4 main tank damage categories. We have Reaper with 280 DPS, next up Rotok with 225 DPS, and Junkrat and Soldier with 200 DPS, although Soldier has his 3 Helix rockets, so that deals a bit of extra damage. Now below you can see a video of me destroying a Reinhardt shield with every character on his own. We have 5 offensive ultimates at the moment. We have Reaper's Death Blossom, Genji's Dragon Blade, Hanzo Dragons, Pharah's Rocket Barrage, and the Tracer Pulse Bomb. All of these ultimates synergize very well with CC ultimates, and abilities like Death Blossom or Dragon Blade work really well with a Nano Boost and a Zarya shield to protect them. Next up, engaging and committing. When you want to commit, make sure that everyone wants to commit when you engage. Speed Boost is really good for this because it's universal language. Everyone knows what it means and everyone knows that they need to go in, even in pub games. If you hesitate for too long, that's usually a free loss. Don't let the enemies prepare for it. Sometimes it's better to be unprepared yourself than give the enemies time to prepare. Next up, ult combos. Usually you only need 1 CC ultimate and 1 DPS ultimate to cause a team wipe. The only exception was pre-nerf Ana ultimate. So if you use your CC ultimate first, the enemies either use theirs, and usually that's a waste, and they will still die since you engaged first, or they don't use them, and you can still push the card for free because you won the fight. However, next time they may have an ultimate advantage. So you need to realize that committing is really important. Even if an engage by your teammate looks really stupid, it's better to just go in by yourself, because if he runs in alone and he dies, you need to wait for his respawn anyways, so you can just follow him and try to turn the fight around. Here we have some examples for Teamcomps. Now what you're looking at the moment is Ana Lucio, Reaper McCree, and Zarya Reinhardt. Now this is a really good Teamcomp because they can engage with Lucio Speed Boost and Nano Boost. Lucio's Sound Barrier is really good against Zarya ultimates. They have a CC ultimate with Reinhardt's Urge Setter or Graviton Surge, so they can always come with the Reaper. McCree deals with the flankers. His Flashbang and Anna's Sleep Dart can make good picks on attack. The Reaper shotguns are really good for destroying tanks and Reinhardt's shield. And his Death Blossom works really well with the CC ultimates and the Nano Boost. Here we have a bad example, consisting of Anna Mercy, Rotok Zarya, and Pharah and Hanzo. Now this is really vulnerable to CC ultimates and flankers, because we don't have an anti-flanker character and we don't have any defensive ultimates. Now we can fix that team comp rather easily by replacing the Mercy with the Lucio and the Zarya with the Reinhardt, because now we have Lucio's Sound Barrier as a defensive ultimate, and since we swapped the Pharah with the McCree, we also have an anti-flanker. So this way Hanzo still gets his pick potential. Zarya's Graviton Surge is replaced with Reinhardt's Earth Shatter, and Reinhardt's Earth Shatter is really good to protect the McCree and give him a good position. Next up we have Cluttering Comms. Now Cluttering Comms means that you make useless calls or your calls are way too long. Some examples are that Pharah is in the air. Now that's very obvious and it doesn't really help your team in any way. Pharah should be in the air. Saying that the McCree is right there and he doesn't have Flashbang. Right there is not a really good call, because your teammates won't be able to really know where he is, even though telling your team that he doesn't have his Flashbang is actually valuable information. Next up we have, okay guys, the last team fight was really good. I especially like the way we combined the Zarya ult with the Hanzo ult, and it's ridiculous that it does more damage than the Sound Barrier could block, and went straight to the Reinhardt shield. I think next fight we can do the same, but we'll use my Earth Shatter and McCree's ultimate to get some picks, and after that fight we should have the Hanzo and Zarya ult back up so we combine them and rotate. Now you could replace this with a nice one, Ryan and Creel for next fight until we have Grab Dragon again. This is a lot shorter and it still conveys the same information. Next up, effective communication. You need to make sure that your calls are concise and meaningful. You only need to call out information that could save a teammate or lead to a pick. For instance, instead of saying Reaper used his teleport above us, it's enough to say Reaper above. This has the same meaning, however it's 4 words shorter, which could be used for other calls. However, shorter isn't always better. For instance, saying McCree behind you isn't as useful as saying Mercy McCree behind you. This is 1 word longer, however this way only Mercy needs to know that McCree is behind her, and the rest of the team can go to Mercy to protect her, or they simply don't need to look behind them because there's no McCree behind them. Next up we have asking for swaps. For instance, a really bad way of asking for swaps is saying McCree, you don't kill anything, swap. Now this may be true, but it's neither constructive and it's kinda insulting. Instead you can say, McCree, can you play Reaper? I need you for my Nano Boost. Now this way McCree is incentivized to prove his Reaper, because he probably is too proud of himself to say, oh no, I can't play Reaper. Also, we have given him a good reason for the swap, because getting Nano Boost as Reaper usually leads to a lot of kills, which is incentivization enough. And you don't say, oh, you need to swap because you're doing poorly, but you need to swap because it's better for the team. So make sure to always give a reason to swap. You should make it a suggestion, not a command, so always make it a question. And you should ask him if he can play that hero, not if he wants to play him. Also, you need to ensure a positive atmosphere. When someone does something good, make sure to tell them, but keep it concise. Things like, nice pick Cree, good old Hanzo, tie for res, or there we go boys, are really short and people will appreciate it, even passively. However, make sure to not bootlick them. You only need to tell them that what they did was good, but don't tell them constantly. Like actually only tell them they did something good when they actually did something good. Now this obviously only works when they do something good. However, you can even create a positive atmosphere by losing, by making team failures funny. For instance, after you got team wiped by a Reaper, you can just say, "Rip, we got wrecked by that Reaper." Or you can say, "Haha, I didn't hit anything, my bad." Or, "It doesn't matter, we have morals for the next fight now." Make sure to blame yourself, so your teammates have someone to blame that is resistant. Because otherwise they would just say, "Oh, you know, our Pharah didn't really do anything." Instead, by saying that you didn't do anything, they can blame you and Pharah doesn't tilt. Also, you can laugh about what just happened. After all, it's a game, and making a fail funny motivates your team to not do it again. So you should always see the positive even in a failure. For instance, saying that we have more ultimates for the next fight is actually true, and you should capitalize on that. And this way, your team doesn't focus on the bad that happened. And last but not least, we have the can we attitude. You should always ask your team if you can do something, not that you should do something. Some bad calls are, "We should engage now," or "We should swap to a third tank against their Hanzo," or "We really shouldn't go via the stairs." Instead you should say, "Can we engage? We can boost the Genji." Or, "Can we go triple tank? Hanzo won't be able to one-shot us anymore." Or, "Can we go lower? They're expecting us from stairs." Now, this usually warrants a reply, which directly engages yourself with the teammates, and also they don't feel like you command them around, but instead you actually make suggestions. I'd like to thank you for watching. This was the last major video in the Getting Good series. I will probably do a conclusion video soon, so that I have a 10th video for the playlist. And after that I plan on doing specific hero guides, some gameplay analysis. I'd like to talk about the game state, and do patch analysis when something new comes out. Also, if you have suggestions, or you'd like to hear from me, you can just write a comment and I'll get into it.